just got a haircut. I thought my hair was supposed to look better, not worse. Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and today I am talking all about curl shock. Curl shock is so real. If you have ever gotten a haircut after starting the curly girl method, you may or may not have experienced it. But before we dive right into this video, why don't y'all go ahead and subscribe and click that notification bell. I would love to have y'all around for some more videos. We've got some really exciting stuff happening this week, which is really cool. And go ahead and hit the thumbs up button if you find this video helpful. That lets me know that I'm helping you guys out, because that is the whole point of this channel. I really love the curly girl method and how much it's transformed my hair and my heart. And I would love to help you out as much as I possibly can doing the curly girl method, because I like it, because I think it's fun. So talking about curl shock, this term refers to the mild freakout your hair has after getting a cut. I'm going to insert a picture here of where I started doing the curly girl method. This is what my hair looked like when I had been doing the curly girl method for almost a month. Side note, if you've been doing the curly girl method for a shorter period of time and are comparing your hair to somebody who's been doing it for years, then that may hurt your heart. Don't do that. This is where I started. So you can totally see that I have some bleach that has grown out quite far. I just quit highlighting my hair and I was letting it grow out. And you can totally see how the ends are really fried and not happy looking. Wow. Okay, let's get that picture away. So after about a month of doing the curly girl method, I was just realizing that I personally didn't have what it took in order to revitalize those incredibly fried, damaged ends. Keep in mind that my hair is incredibly fine. I had bleached it really, really far. I had lifted the color pretty far, so this bleach that had to be used was pretty significant. And needless to say, my hair was really, really, really damaged. I just didn't want to deal with it anymore. I was like, okay, cool. I had been growing out my color for about a year, and I felt like I had just enough regrowth that I could just chop off all that bleached blonde, and then poof, my hair would magically curl up into ringlets, because all the damage would be gone. I would have a clean slate. Bada bing, bada boom, instant curls. Here's a picture of me right after I chopped off all that damage. You can see that my hair didn't turn into ringlets. It is more wavy. This picture is actually a couple of weeks after I got the cut. But you can totally see that my curls did not spring up into ringlets, especially in the back. You can see how straight with just a slight bend at the end my hair is. And there is a reason for that. That is because of curl memory. The longer you treat your hair well, the more often you style your hair curly, the better your curl memory will become. And so if your curls have been weighted down by incredibly long lengths of hair, and you suddenly chop all this weight off, your hair will still remember that it only had 2 bends in it. It will take it time for it to realize that all of that weight is gone. So I've talked a little bit about a big chop, and it's kind of easy to see how that would kind of send your hair into curl shock, and that the curls would take some time to revitalize and to go ahead and spring up. So what about following haircuts? Just regular trims, small trims. That should minimize curl shock, shouldn't it? In my experience, I have had one haircut where I experienced no curl shock at all. I've had about 6 haircuts since starting the curly girl method, and only one of those did I not experience any type of curl shock, where after I got the haircut, my hair immediately started looking way, way better and just sprang up beautifully, and the shape was perfect the entire time. So in my experience, curl shock has been more the norm than the exception. So the first big chop, I had pretty significant curl shock, and it took about a month for my hair to sort itself out, figure out where the curls were going to clump together and how the curls were going to lay, and then it started growing out beautifully. I loved how the first big chop haircut grew out. The next haircut was good. We added a few more layers, and here's a picture after I got my second haircut while doing the curly girl method, and it actually took about the same amount of time for my hair to pull out of curl shock. It took a while in order for my hair to sort itself out, for my hair to figure out which curl clumps wanted to go together and which ones didn't. Now you may be thinking to yourself, Courtney, but you were getting wet cuts, right? Because if you've been around on my channel for a while, you have totally seen my haircut video, which is not edited to cut anything out. It shows every single cut my delightful hairdresser Christian did on my hair, and that's a wet cut. And you may be thinking, well, of course, if you're getting a wet cut, you're going to be busting up all those curl clumps and making them unhappy. And of course, your curl shock is going to be worse. Well, here's a picture of my hair right after I got my very next wet cut. And this is the haircut where I experienced absolutely no curl shock. And I really think that the length and shape were fantastic for me, and it was a wet cut. Now, moving on to my next haircut that I have had, I decided that I needed to officially join the curly girl community and experience a dry cut. This was my first ever dry cut that I ever got, and it was absolutely masterfully done. Keep in mind, I'm going to the same hairdresser every time I get my hair cut. We're keeping things consistent. I'm letting one person work on my hair while I go through this curly girl journey. I really enjoyed this dry cut. My stylist and I discussed it, and she felt like my curl pattern was emerging to the point where she felt comfortable doing a good dry cut on my hair. For whatever reason, on my fine, barely wavy hair, the curl shock for this haircut lasted significantly longer than a month. My hair was off for nearly 2.5 months. And keep in mind, I get my hair cut every 4 months. So that's well over half the time in between getting my hair cut. That being said, I think it's very important to go ahead and experiment and test things out as you are getting haircuts. If a wet cut works great for you, wonderful, keep getting a wet cut. And if dry cuts work fantastic for you, fantastic, keep getting dry cuts. But the curly girl method, unfortunately, is not necessarily one size fits all. All hair types will respond exactly the same if they are treated with the exact same products, exact same styling techniques, exact same haircuts. We all know that that's not the case. So find the haircut that works best for you. I enjoyed experimenting and testing things out, so that's why I tried a dry cut, but unfortunately, it was not my cup of tea. So this last haircut, which I just got, was another wet cut, and we went back to a similar thought and shape that I had when I had this haircut number 3 or 4, I can't remember at this point, but my hair is significantly longer now than it was getting it cut here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn around and show you the back of this brand new haircut that I've got. And I am about a week out from having gotten this haircut. I have washed and styled it twice, and I really like it. I really think the shape is good. You can tell that I am maybe having a little more volume than I've had in some past videos, but my ultimate goal is to have really long, pretty, wavy curly hair. My dream hair is super long, so even if it would make my hair curlier, I still want to grow my hair out. So even if a shorter length and more layers would make my hair look more wavy and more curly, I'm doing my best to grow my hair out as fast as I possibly can. P.S. Doing the curly girl method, I have totally noticed that my hair grows way faster than it used to. Anybody else? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you started doing the curly girl method, and have you noticed what seems like an increase at the rate at which your hair grows? Okay, so here's the question. Is there anything you can do to avoid curl shock altogether, or at least expedite the process in moving out of curl shock? Well, some of the things that I have found that have been helpful to me are making sure that my protein moisture balance is really, really good in my hair. And as my hair tends to be over moisturized more often than having too much protein, I will tend to do a clarifying session with a deep conditioner with a lot of protein in it after I get a haircut, because if theoretically my dear sweet stylist uses a conditioner or styling product with silicone in it on my hair, I need to go ahead and pull that off, and giving my hair some protein will most certainly help lend some structure to my hair and give it a better chance at springing up and figuring out its curl memory more quickly. Another thing that really helps me out is making sure that I spend a good amount of time when I apply my products to my hair. If I rush that process, if I don't squish and pulse my products in enough, I will not be giving my hair a good chance to sort itself out into its new curl clumps. So spending that few extra minutes squishing in my products until I feel like they are completely absorbed into my hair is very, very helpful when I am bringing my hair out of curl shock from getting a haircut. And the last thing I've noticed that really helps minimize curl shock is to avoid pulling my hair back in really tight, high ponytails. And that is particularly hard when I am running as much as I am. If you work out, if you work in an industry where you are required to pull your hair back, this can be really, really tricky. I personally have been finding this. Hold on, let me go get it. I'll be right back. In the process of going to get this, my camera died. So I have actually thrown it on my head because I find that this cap is an absolutely fantastic way to pull my hair out of my face while I work out without pulling it back very, very tightly. It's kind of a beanie type situation. It's got a stretchy elastic on one side. The rest of it is not very stretchy, satin lined. This works great. And I'm finding that in colder weather, if I let it go ahead and cover my ears, it keeps my head plenty warm while I run outside in the cold. All right, so those are my recommendations for dealing with curl shock. It happens to everyone. If you just got a haircut and are wondering why the heck your hair is not behaving, consider that it is just taking some time for your hair to refigure out its curl clump families, and it's clinging to its old curl memory of when there was slightly more weight on it, and now it's just sorting itself out. Don't freak out. Curl shock is real. All right, guys, I hope you are having an absolutely fantastic day, and I will talk to y'all later.